Hello and welcome to the Marin County Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Just note on that, if you have a question for a specific school, please name the school in your question so they know it's for them. Your cameras and microphones are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening. Be sure to sign up for additional ones where you signed up for this one. This presentation is being recorded. It'll be available within about a week, again, at the same website where you registered for this session. We are in session B7, pretty much the center part of the screen. You can see my cursor probably moving in a circle over the session. Those are the 6 schools that will be presenting during our session tonight in the order of their presentation. So I've gotten all the housekeeping stuff out of the way, so I will get out of the way and turn it over to our first representative from the Dominican University of California.
Hi, everyone. I am going to go ahead and share my screen so I can share a little bit more about Dominican with all of you. My name is Maria Gentile. I am our Director of Undergraduate Admissions at Dominican. And for those of you from Marin County, which I think is the majority of you, I actually work with all of our students in Marin County. So I'm also your admissions representative. If you're not familiar, Dominican is just 12 miles north of the Golden Gate Bridge in Marin County. We are very close to Muir Woods, the beach, and we have all of the resources of San Francisco right in our backyard. And here are just a few facts about Dominican as you're doing your research on which colleges and universities you would like to apply to this year, next year, and in the following years. We are celebrating our 130th birthday. We have just over 1,800 students. About 87% of our students stay for their second year at Dominican, and we have very strong 4-year graduation rates. All of our programs are set up in such a way that you'll have the classes you need to graduate in 4 years. Our average incoming GPA is right around a 3.6. We have a 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and the average class size is 16. If you're interested in participating in athletics at Dominican, we are part of the Pacific West Conference. We are NCAA Division II, and we've won the Academic Achievement Award in the Pacific West Conference the last 9 of 10 years in a row. So that's something that we are very proud of. You are able to be, or you're eligible for all majors as an athlete at Dominican. So there are no majors that you can't participate in. And then if you are interested in additional resources from Dominican, our website is a great place for you to do that research. Under academics, you can read about every single major and minor, see the classes you would take, outcomes, who you're going to be learning with, and some of the career paths and internships that you might be eligible for. Under admissions and aid, we go through our admissions process. We are completely test optional. We're not using test scores for any of our majors or for any financial aid purposes. And then under campus life, you can have the opportunity to experience our campus virtually with tours. And under the About section is just more information about some of the accolades and how we've been featured in the news recently. We offer individual counseling appointments in both English and Spanish for admissions and for financial aid. You can also meet with coaches. You can go on guided tours. And then if you're interested in meeting with other students, we offer Penguin meetups. Right now, all of our programming is virtual, but we hope to be back with you in the spring. And then probably most importantly, I would encourage you all to stay in touch with us on social media. If you are on Instagram, we would love for you to follow us. This is also a great way for you to follow the other clubs and organizations at Dominican, see what's going on campus. We're on Facebook, and then we also have YouTube videos. So YouTube videos include tours of campus, more information about athletics at Dominican, academics, and quite a few videos about study abroad as well. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, as I was having trouble unmuting myself. Reminder to everyone attending to use the Q&A button if you have questions for any of our presenters. And make sure if it's for a specific school, please note that in your question so they know it's for them. Up next, we'll hear from the representative from the University of California, Santa Cruz.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa Overstreet, Assistant Director of Admissions for UC Santa Cruz. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about how UC Santa Cruz is different by design. So what's unique about us? We're a top tier 1 research institution. Over 75% of graduate students conduct research on our campus, but we have the heart and feel of a small liberal arts college. I'm having a little bit of a tech issue here, changing slides. Hang on just one second. There we go. So we are also the closest UC campus to the Silicon Valley. We're about an hour and a half south of San Francisco and about 45 minutes from San Jose. We are a really beautiful campus. We're located in the hills of Santa Cruz. We have over 2,000 acres of land. The whole campus is covered in redwood forests. There are hiking and biking trails throughout the campus and views of the ocean. It's just a short bus ride down the hill, about 7 minutes, to get to downtown Santa Cruz and where the beach is, where the famous Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk is located. So lots of fun things for you to do in town. We have a lot of different things for you to study. So we have 70 majors and 39 minors, and they're housed within our 5 academic divisions. The divisions are the arts, the humanities, the social sciences, physical and biological sciences, and we also have a school of engineering. Some of our most popular majors are computer science game design, film and digital media, psychology, and marine biology. We have some new programs that we've just started: agroecology, biotechnology, democracy, education, and justice, and a Black Studies minor. Part of what makes UC Santa Cruz unique is our residential college system. Every single one of our students is affiliated with one of our 10 residential colleges. And this is true whether or not you live on campus, and you'll be affiliated with your college throughout your entire time at UC Santa Cruz. All of the colleges except for 9 and 10 were designed by different architects, so they all have a unique look and feel. They all have different locations on campus. All of the colleges have advisors for their students. They all have housing and dining. Every single college has a unique theme. And then there are freshman core courses that are associated with that theme, also activities based around the theme as well. All of the colleges have networking opportunities for their students and lots of social engagement opportunities, leadership as well. We have a UC Santa Cruz wide student government, but there's also student governments at each of the individual colleges as well. The colleges are actually completely independent of major. So there are students from all different majors that are affiliated with all of our colleges. If you think of UC Santa Cruz as like its own city, you can think of the colleges as neighborhoods within the city. So it's really a way of creating smaller communities within our larger system. And since we have students from all different majors affiliated with all of the colleges, it's a way for you to interact and meet with students who you might not have met otherwise. Medium-sized campus, so we have about 19,000 students on our campus. Our student to faculty ratio is 24:1. We don't have a lot of large lecture halls on our campus, but we do have some. So the largest lecture hall holds around 400 students. But most of the classes are on the smaller side. So 72% of our classes have less than 50 students in them, and 62% have less than 30 students in them. Last year, we were able to admit a little over 65% of freshman applicants who applied, and the average GPA for admitted students was a 3.91. Do keep in mind that that is a weighted GPA. These statistics can vary a little bit from year to year. We want to make sure that you're successful as a student and also successful in your career after you graduate. We have a lot of services in place to make sure that that happens for you. Our Career Center is a really wonderful place for all of you to connect when you're students on our campus. The Career Center advisors can help you with planning and preparing to go on to further schooling if you want to go on to graduate or professional school. For example, we have pre-professional health science advisors if you want to go to med school, or pre-law advisors if you want to go to law school. They host all kinds of internship and career fairs. And so there's great ways for you to connect and make those next steps. We have many alumni who have had very successful careers, and some of the top places that are hiring UCSC students are Facebook, Cisco, Apple, Google, and Genentech. We really hope that you keep in touch with us after today. And we do have a number of virtual events that are taking place, including virtual student tours. I definitely recommend joining us for those tours. They're live and interactive. So that's a really great way to follow up with us after today. Do please continue to put your questions in the chat. We're here to answer any questions that you have for us. And then if you have further questions after today, we'd be happy to give you our contact information so you can contact us directly as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And I'm going to repeat what she said about asking questions in the Q&A of not just for Lisa, but for any of our representatives tonight. Just make sure if it's for a specific school, as I've said before, name the school in your question. Up next, we will hear from the representative from California Lutheran University.
All right, hello everybody. Happy Tuesday. My name is Amanda and I am an admission counselor at California Lutheran University. I am also the specific admission counselor for the Marin County and a lot of Northern California. So it's a pleasure to see you all virtually. As I mentioned, I represent California Lutheran University. We are located in Southern California. We are about halfway between Santa Barbara and Los Angeles, halfway in the middle there. We're also about 25 minutes to the coast. I think Malibu is probably our closest beach. And I do have a picture of campus right behind me. This is a park that exists right in the middle of our campus. There's a small bridge here that goes over a creek, and just kind of a good view of campus as a whole. Very open, green, welcoming environment, and a lovely place to call home. I am going to share a brief video with you all and then share some more information about Cal Lutheran.
Put yourself in the place. Picture yourself walking, meeting people, doing activities. Just picture yourself there and see how happy you're going to be.
Walking on stage before the show starts, curtain is still down, and I can hear the orchestra warming up.
A couple of us are dribbling a basketball, and right when the song starts, that's when, I come out.
Opening ceremony for the Paralympics, getting to walk just around the track, having the cameras on you, seeing the thousands of people in the stands.
You just feel the energy.
And I can literally just hear like a heartbeat or a pulse.
I just couldn't stop smiling, but I also couldn't stop crying. It was like,
I don't know, I feel like joy and I kind of want to laugh. I don't know, it's kind of like those moments that you don't want to take for granted.
The 4 years here isn't just a transaction to get a degree. I think it goes much, much deeper. And I think that stays with you.
We're graduates of Cal Lutheran in '92. We've got 2 daughters here.
It's just a very emotional, special place to know that all these things have converged here.
I mean, the values that Cal Lutheran gives to the students, I think, start with the relationships. And it's relationships with the faculty and the teachers, and in the community itself.
The community here is something special.
Here, they require you to be on campus for 3 years unless you're a commuter. And so it really brings everyone together.
As a commuter, I don't feel like I've missed out on the college experience. There's so much outside of the residence halls at Cal Lutheran that you still feel part of the community.
I am a 2016 graduate from Cal Lutheran, and right now I am attending Harvard University for a PhD in neuroscience. The connections that I have here, those connections ultimately gave me the right path.
There's an opportunity for students to find their niche in this university.
This isn't a place just for you just to come to school. This is a place for you to be kind of vulnerable.
Being out of your comfort zone is okay.
Take it one day at a time. Just keep in mind the end goal is personal growth, and you will get that here at Cal Lutheran.
It isn't just the science, it isn't just the research, it's also looking at a world outside of that.
And caring about bigger ideas than just themselves, and then being in a community where they can take action.
We gotta leave behind something better than what we were given, and I think that's what Cal Lutheran's striving for.
Perfect. So hopefully that was just kind of a brief look at some of the student experiences that are able to exist at Cal Lutheran. I do also want to share a snapshot of who our students are and where we come from. So as you can see here, this is a snapshot of our university. You'll see we have just over 3,000 undergraduate students at Cal Lutheran with an average class size of 17 students. This is really phenomenal. If there's one thing you take away from this presentation, I hope it's that you understand just how much the professors truly care about the students and the relationships that students are able to build with Cal Lutheran professors because of these small class sizes. These professors truly go above and beyond for their students, spending their own personal time in office hours, after hours, allowing students to come and ask them questions, helping them write papers, tutoring them in any way they can, and also supporting them in and out of the classroom. They don't just know your first name, they also might know a little bit of your story, what you're really talented at, that internship that you're hoping to get someday, and mentor you along in that process. And I think that's one of the things that makes Cal Lutheran really special. Another thing that makes us special is our representation. So we represent 39 faiths, 42 states, and 49 countries. Our students are coming from all of those places on our campus, which gives people from different backgrounds and lifestyles and belief systems at Cal Lutheran, and gives that opportunity to meet people from those places as well. As you'll see here, we also have about 27% of our students are first-generation college students, and over 50% of our students are from underrepresented backgrounds. So another thing that makes Cal Lutheran special is that ability to really just come in this welcoming environment, regardless of any opportunities that you may or may not have had before. This is a level playing field where all students really get to strive for that next step in their education and their career. We are, like I said, 25 minutes to the ocean. 97% of our graduates are either employed or in graduate school within 9 months after graduation. And the last thing I want to share here is about our majors and minors. You can see our 5 most popular majors there are listed. We have 0 impacted programs. And with that, we can guarantee that you will graduate in 4 years. Students can sign into this program as soon as they join their freshman year at Cal Lutheran. And we say, as long as you register for your classes on time, we guarantee that you will graduate in 4 years. And if for some reason you're unable to, we will pay for any additional classes beyond that. So if you're looking for an institution that can help you graduate in 4 years, we can make that happen here. Hopefully that kind of gave you a brief overview of Cal Lutheran as a whole. I'd be happy to chat and answer anything more in the future. Thank you.
And thank you. And I will remind everyone, as I've been reminding you throughout the session, to use the Q&A button to ask questions of any of our presenters this evening. And for a specific school, make sure to name the school in your question. Up next, we will hear from the representative from Loyola Marymount University.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited that you all are interested in learning more about Loyola Marymount University. So let's go ahead and dive in. So one of the first things to know is that LMU is a Jesuit university. The Jesuits are an order or a group within the Catholic Church. So LMU is a Catholic university, though of course we welcome students of all faith backgrounds at LMU. We're about 50% Catholic, and the other 50% of our students are everything else under the sun: non-Catholic, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, atheist, agnostic. All students have a place at LMU. One of the big approaches to our education is that we believe in this idea of the education of the whole person. So while academic excellence, academic rigor is extremely important to us and is a crucial part of the LMU experience, we also acknowledge that it's only one facet of who you are as a human being. So we want to make sure that we're giving you the opportunity to develop yes, in your academic skills, but that you're also developing your interpersonal skills, that you're really realizing your leadership potential, that you are working on your professional skills. So all of these are that part of that idea of the education of a whole person. And we're also really committed to promoting justice. So our students are all challenged to think of the ways that their skill sets, their passions, and their unique talents can be used to better their communities in some way. At LMU, we believe that your education isn't just about benefiting you, but it's also about the people that you're going to be able to help with the tools that LMU is providing you. In terms of the academics at LMU, we are a medium-sized school. So the great thing about this is that we're large enough to offer a lot of the opportunities you would find on a larger campus, such as NCAA Division I athletics. We have over 200 clubs and organizations on campus, including sororities and fraternities. Students are able to choose from over 150 different academic programs, including majors, minors, pre-professional programs like pre-med and pre-law, as well as credential programs if you want to graduate with a teaching credential. So we are large enough as a campus to be able to sustain this variety of opportunity, but still small enough that we're able to maintain the academic integrity of that smaller classroom size. Our average class size at LMU is 19 students. You'll never be in a giant lecture hall. You'll always be in an environment where the professors know who you are, really care about you, really get to know you. One of my favorite things about LMU is how many professors really get to know you on that individualized level. So again, that idea of education of the whole person really comes from this other Jesuit value of care of the whole person. And that's something that our professors really, really dedicate their time to our students. In terms of our programs, we offer 60 majors, 55 minors, and we organize them into 5 undergraduate schools and colleges that represent the 5 main areas of study at LMU. It includes liberal arts, it includes business, it includes communication and fine arts, film and television, and science and engineering. And if you'd like to know more about each one of these colleges, we actually do have college-specific presentations, which I'll talk to you a little bit about how you can sign up for those in a little bit. In terms of our location, we are located in Los Angeles, California, but LA is really, really big. So let's talk about where we're located. We're on the west side of Los Angeles, about 10, 12 minutes away from the beach. And also we're the closest university to the Los Angeles International Airport. So for those of you that are coming from out of town, it's a really ideal situation. Specifically, those of you coming from the Bay Area, I am a Bay Area native myself, specifically from the East Bay. I grew up in Emeryville. And what I loved about LMU is that it's far enough away that you get that sense of independence going away for college, but it's still close enough that if you wanted to pop up for a weekend, say maybe it's your mom's birthday and you want to surprise her, it's close enough that you're able to make that happen without it being like this whole big deal. It's also really, it's a really great location because you have access to everything Los Angeles has to offer, including the beach, hiking in the mountains, exploring the different Los Angeles neighborhoods. And it's also located very close to Silicon Beach, which is this area at the base of the LMU campus. Silicon Beach is one of the fastest growing hubs for technology, media, and startup companies in the nation. So there are tons of internship opportunities at the base of the campus. And because we're in LA, all major industries are represented in Los Angeles at the very highest level. While you have access to all of that, we are in a safe residential neighborhood. LMU is ranked number 11 in the nation for both most beautiful campuses in America. I like to think of it as an oasis within Los Angeles. So you really do get the best of both worlds when it comes to that college experience. So if you'd like to learn more about LMU, you want to continue this conversation, we have tons of opportunities for you to visit us virtually. We have a whole host of opportunities called Experience LMU, where you're able to have conversations with the deans of the colleges. You can attend different seminars taught by LMU professors. You can engage with alumni. You can learn more about financial aid, and you can learn more about those by going to by clicking on the Experience LMU opportunities. We have student panels that happen basically every day, Monday through Thursday, actually every day, because we do have one on Friday as well. We have, like I mentioned before, those college-specific presentations, and we also have a first-year application workshop. So if you're maybe struggling with the LMU application, you want to learn more about best practices, you want to learn more about our supplemental essay prompts, you can go to this first-year application workshop page. And finally, I'll just leave you with a timeline if you want to take a quick screenshot of this application timeline. And if you'd like to learn more about our application, please go to lmu.edu/apply. Thank you so much.
Evelyn, thank you very much. And again, if you have questions for any of our presenters, use the Q&A button to type your question in. And if it's for one specific school, name the school in your question so that they know it is directed at them. Up next, we'll hear from the University of California, San Diego.
Hello, everyone. My name is Antoinette. I'm an admissions officer at UC San Diego. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can all see my presentation. And a little bit about me. I'm originally from Southern California, from Los Angeles, California to be specific, and I've been in San Diego for about 2 years. So a little bit about our campus at San Diego. We do have over 140 different majors for you to choose from. So our campus is really known for STEM. In the UCs, you'll notice that a lot of the campuses are really known for something certain, but just because we're known for a certain thing doesn't mean that we're not great across all other majors. So we have over 140 different majors across 8 different disciplines. We do not do major-based admission. So even though you see on the right side of the screen that we have CAP programs, that just means we're limiting the enrollment into these programs to ensure that students who are already enrolled in this program are able to get the classes that they need and graduate within a timely manner. When you're applying as a first-year student, we are going to consider you for an institution without regard to your major. And then after we've decided whether or not we're going to admit you, then we send your application over to your first choice major. We have several top rankings. Again, our campus is known for STEM, so that's where a lot of our rankings really lie. We were voted the #1 public university in the country, according to Washington Monthly 2020. And we were also ranked 5th in the nation for one of the best theater departments. So again, just because we're known for STEM doesn't mean you can't come to our campus and excel in something great. We are a top tier research institution. Last year, we received about $1.3 billion in research funding. So our students have the opportunity to start researching as early as their first year on campus, which is something that a lot of students find a lot of value in. Like Santa Cruz, we do have a college system on our campus. Each college has its own theme or philosophy that it goes according to, and then its general education is going to be in line with that theme or that philosophy. And those are going to be the classes that you'll be taking. You can be any college, any major, any college. All colleges will have their own academic advising. They'll also have their own student government. And it is like another community. So we all often tell students, think of the college system kind of like Hogwarts. So if I have any Harry Potter fans out in the crowd, you want to think of UC San Diego as Hogwarts, and then the colleges as like the houses in Harry Potter. So the same way that there's a Ravenclaw and Gryffindor and Slytherin, there's a 7th college and a Warren and a Mura and a Revelle College. So that same thing. This also helps us with interdisciplinary learning. So that means you get to learn across multiple different disciplines. And just because you're a science major doesn't mean that you won't also learn from humanities and the arts and the social sciences. So that's something that we place really high value on. The only thing that's different about our application when you're applying to the UCs is that we ask you to rank your college system on the application. You'll rank the colleges and we'll actually place you into the college. Our campus is fairly large. We have about 30,000 students attending, just under 31,000 as you can see here on this slide. But again, with our college system, it allows us to keep our class sizes small. So our average class size on campus is about 19 students to 1 professor. 66% of our students do come in as first years, and about 34% of our students will come in as transfer students. On average, it takes students about 4 years and 1 quarter to graduate from UC San Diego if they're coming in as a first year, and it takes them about 2 years and 2 quarters if they're coming in as a transfer. Although our campus is still fairly young, we're only about 60 years old, we're proud to say that we have an alumni network of over 190,000 alum worldwide. Now, living on campus, that's something I always highly recommend to students, especially if they can afford to live on campus. There's such a wonderful student experience that really comes along when you get to live on campus, really anywhere you go. So I highly encourage it. We do have about 90% of our first year students that do live on campus, and we guarantee housing for the first 2 years for both our transfer students and our first year students. We do have dozens of restaurants, markets, and food trucks with vegan, kosher, and halal options to help meet your dietary restrictions and needs. Now, one of the best ways to really enhance your student experience, really at any institution you go to, is by getting involved. So you can get involved in many different ways. One of those ways is you can get involved in student clubs and organizations. There's student government, Greek organizations. We have over 600 different clubs and orgs at UC San Diego. So they span from social organizations to political organizations to professional organizations, sports clubs and organizations. Really, you name it, we've got it. And if you don't find a club that you're interested in, all you need are a few students and an advisor, and you can get that club started on campus. Now, we're really excited to announce that we do have 23 sports teams, and we just moved from Division II athletics to Division I. Now, it is a bittersweet moment because all of our sports just started competing in Division I this fall, and with COVID-19, our fans aren't allowed to participate in the games, but that's okay. We're still finding ways to engage them virtually. Now, I know that everyone's thinking, what different kind of events are happening on campus? So we have a ton of different events that happen on campus every single year. I don't have enough time to go through all of them, but one of our biggest events is Sun God Festival. It's like our mini campus Coachella, and we've had awesome headliners like Snoop Dogg and Drake perform in the past. Now, what attractions are there in San Diego? Literally, there are so many attractions. I can't name them all. They all don't fit on one slide. I'm a big city girl, so I love going out to eat and shopping. So there's definitely a plethora of that. If you email me afterwards, I will send you my taco list. I love tacos, so I have an ongoing taco list of some of the best taco places in San Diego. But you can, if you're really outdoorsy, you can go kayaking and biking and hiking. I don't personally like hiking, but I will do some biking and I will do some kayaking. So one of my favorite pastimes is to go to Coronado and rent a bike and get to biking. So those are just a few things that you get to do in San Diego and a few of those attractions, and we can get started. You can ask me all the questions about admissions requirements a little bit later, and ask me any questions you have in the Q&A. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And I will repeat, yes, that is the place to ask questions. Use the Q&A to ask questions of any of our presenters during this session. Up next, we'll hear from the representative from California State University, Maritime.
Hey everybody, I'm Mark McGee. I'm Director of Admission at Cal Maritime, and I'm going to break the mold as far as what you hear about today. I do have a short time, but we're the school across the bay from you. We're California State University Maritime Academy, CSU, you know what that means. Maritime is about the ocean, and Academy is a small focused school. So what I'm gonna say is not gonna sound a lot like what you've heard in the past 5 presentations, so let's get going. First of all, our location, just cross the Richmond Bridge or cross Highway 37, get to Vallejo. That's where we're located. That's our campus, our athletics field you can see. You can see Interstate 80 there, the Carquinez Bridge, and see that ship that's out in the water? That is our training ship Golden Bear, unique aspect of our school. Among the 23 CSU campuses, we're the jewel in the crown. We hold a lot of distinctions, and I'm going to tell you how we're unique. So we are a traditional college with bachelor's degrees, and we're the best of both worlds. And a CSU campus, but we're industry specific. The maritime world, whether that's global transportation, engineering, business, and of course, working aboard ships, driving the ships as captains or ship engineers. We're a professional school. We're not a military school. You're going to see uniforms in the pictures. They're not going to be joining the military at Cal Maritime. Maybe a few do, 8%, but most everyone is just going to be a successful professional when they graduate. We're the smallest CSU campus and the smallest of any of the 6 campuses today, about 925 students. We're built to be that small. The next slide will show you why. Our average class size is nearly as small as any of the private schools you'll hear about. 18 is our average class. And some unique distinctions about students, no matter what they study on our campus. There are not just labs, but simulators that put you in professional settings like engineering control stations or ships' bridges on the campus, so you're prepared when you do your internship or go off into the real world at some of those more technical levels. Everybody does an international learning experience. Everyone has a passport You do it in one of two ways, depending on your major that I'll explain. And everybody does a co-op or internship. It's baked into the graduation requirements, so you have an easy transition into professional life. And the payoff, there are excellent job opportunities after you graduate. So these are the 7 things you can study at Cal Maritime, not 75 majors, just 7 majors. And you can see it from the top, a global transportation and logistics version of business, global studies and maritime affairs for those that want to help the environment, but not necessarily are a scientist. You can help with the writing of laws protecting the oceans, or if you're interested in becoming a lawyer, or even security around the coasts. Oceanography, our newest major, to be a scientist studying the health of the ocean, the effects of global climate change and pollution on the ocean. And then 3 types of engineering that are really hands-on, really specific, not just designing it in virtual worlds, but seeing it through to being built and seeing how it operates in real engineering environments. And then marine transportation at the bottom, that's our oldest major, to eventually, upon graduation, start in the middle, 3rd mate, and work your way up to being a captain, most likely of a commercial vessel. So we talk a lot about leadership on our campus, whether you're leading in the Corps of Cadets, which is the way our students are organized by major on our campus, or you can join student government, like just about every high school and college has elected officers, or you can develop your leadership skills by helping to run the residence halls as a residence housing officer. I should mention one of our residence halls is that ship. We have the traditional halls on land, but students live on that ship year round. Okay, just one of our wind energy competition teams looking at their device in competition. Some of our students that are running the residence halls. So it's a nice group of happy folks. They wear uniforms, but obviously this is not a salute and hop to type of military atmosphere. Now, for the international study, if you're in our business program or global studies or oceanography, you take a 1-month trip the month of May after your sophomore year is over to a selection of countries chosen by faculty who are bringing you along as a group. They've determined all the field trips and all the access, so you really get a good international experience taking classes that are relevant to your major. But if you're in engineering or you're in a marine transportation as a major, your international experience is not going to be on a plane. It's going to be on our ship, the Golden Bear. It's going to leave the dock, not do circles in the bay. It's going to go out, going to go through over to Hawaii and then maybe to Asia, or if they go a different direction, they might go straight south to Central America through the Panama Canal to the Caribbean. And they are learning in the journey. They're learning how to run the systems. They're learning how to operate in an international port as someone who's a member of a ship's crew, working together. Everything that's done on that ship is intentional and meant to fulfill graduation requirements, either for our own school or for the license you need in some of our majors to operate in the industries where you will go once you're done. Who loves a Cal Maritime Cadet? All the important places, all the important grad schools, all the important nonprofits or for-profits or government agencies. Everyone loves our students. And one of the big payoffs for having a little more, going the extra distance at Cal Maritime, maybe working a little bit harder before playing hard on our campus, is the employment possibilities. And so there's some happy students just prior to graduation. And you can see before big events or special occasions, the uniforms our students wear do look a little cruise ship, but I guarantee they're not going into the military. That's more, your parents would remember the reference, the Love Boat, than the Navy ship. But over 90% of our students are employed in their major by 6 months after graduation. Almost all of them are employed much sooner after graduation than 6 months, but that's the national time when colleges take snapshots of how many of their students have jobs. So our students are really in high demand, and our school has the best alumni salaries 10 years after graduation of any school in California other than Stanford. We have a lot of great other great superlatives that are surprising to people, that for a school that's so small and maybe not on their radar. So I hope you will check us out. There's a number of ways you can do it. Just our website address, csum.edu/info to get on our list. And then in the middle, csum.edu/visit for any one of our virtual visit options. And that is all I have.
Mark, we'll leave that up for a second so people can see it as I ask, since we have a few minutes left in the session for a round robin Q&A, I'll ask our other representatives to turn on their cameras and microphones and as we do that, I will now share the schedule slide to make sure that we remember the order of everyone presenting. But again, we'll catch up on the Q&A. If you still have questions, you can still add them to the Q&A here as we finish up the session. But really quickly, I will play talk show host and ask each of our representatives about campus life. And specifically, I'll ask, I'm going to stop sharing here, but what is your favorite campus tradition or even school tradition? But either one, and we'll start with the Dominican University.
Okay, thank you. So mine's like 1.5. So my favorite school-wide tradition that has been happening forever is that we have what we call Shield Day. And so every single class gets to create their own shield that gets presented to the campus, and it's like hand carved. It's very beautiful. And so they get to present that to the campus and they get to design it. And then my favorite fun campus tradition is we have something called the Big Event, where basically we create our own festival on campus. So if you've ever gone to something like Bottle Rock or Coachella or anything like that, we have our own version on campus with all of the things that you would normally expect to have at that type of festival. So that's my favorite.
Sounds fun. Let's hear UC Santa Cruz.
So one of my favorite campus traditions is actually for brand new incoming students, and it's one of our orientation programs, and it's called Wilderness Orientation, and that's something that students can sign up to participate in, and it's where you get together with a cohort of students and they take backpacking trips, kayaking trips. It's a really great way to get oriented to the campus and meet a whole new group of people before you start.
Sounds fun as well. About Cal Lutheran.
Yeah, so one of the, I think, best traditions is also for our first year incoming students, and it is during orientation, but it is a painting event. So Cal Lutheran is in a kind of mountainous area, and we have about 150 miles of hiking just around us. So on one of the hills that is by our campus, there are some rocks that spell out CLU, and you can see it from driving anywhere. So our students hike up there with paint and paint the rocks every year, and every year it turns into a huge paint fight that's really memorable for all the first year students in kind of your first orientation and getting into Cal Lutheran with one of our oldest longstanding traditions.
Sounds fun and messy as well.
Yes, indeed.
About Loyola Marymount.
So one of my favorites is held in the fall semester, and it's called Fallapalooza, and it's a giant music festival where we bring in different headliners. Last year we had T-Pain and Relived 2007. My senior year we had Walk the Moon, and that was the same year that Shut Up and Dance came out. So it's really fun. We have these big headliners, but we also have a battle of the bands that leads up to that. So an LMU band actually gets to open. We bring in food trucks. We have like I don't know how to describe it other than an Etsy fair where students are able to sell like crafts that they've made. So it's a really, really wonderful tradition that everyone looks forward to every year.
Sounds awesome. Let's hear from UC San Diego.
Yeah, so I'm still so new, and then COVID happened, so I haven't even had a chance to experience some of these traditions just yet. But some of the ones that are campus favorites, of course, Sun God Festival, Music Festival, it's like our mini campus Coachella, but there are also different traditions within the colleges. And so one of the favorite traditions that I can't wait to see when we get back to campus is every year they kind of have like a pumpkin drop contest. And so it came from, there was a professor who told his physics class that if they dropped this pumpkin that weighed this much and was this much in diameter, and they were able to get the splash radius, that he would pass, give everyone an A on their final. And so everyone had to guess the trajectory. Everyone got it wrong. So they went up to the top, dropped the pumpkin, and everyone got it wrong. So now every year they grow their own pumpkin as big as they can. They hollow it out, fill it with candy, and then they drop it from the top of the residence hall. And then the students get to go and pick up the candy. So I always think that's such a fun like thing that they do. And they also have a watermelon drop in another college, but the pumpkin drop is the big one.
Sounds messy and fun and tasty with the candy, though I did not think I would hear the phrase splash radius during this session, but what a bonus. I see Mark has rejoined us. We're talking about favorite campus tradition, Mark, for your school.
Well, Maritime Academies have lots of traditions, and my favorite one, in the center of campus at our quad, we have a large brass bell, and it's on a stand, and there's a tradition for seniors, middle of their senior year, they take a long exam to pass their license for when they graduate, they can work in their field. And this license is kind of like the MCAT for med school people or the LSAT for law school hopefuls. And it's a 4-day test. And so when they get out after the last part of the test, they don't have to wait 2 weeks for the exam. They actually know at the time they finish the last part whether they passed or not. And the students that pass, they run out in the quad, their friends gather around, and they ring that bell to all heaven. I mean, it's just, it reverberates throughout the campus, and it's a great selfie moment to go on Instagram and all. So that's my favorite tradition on our campus.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank all of you for sharing that. And I know we have a few questions in the Q&A. So as our reps answer those questions here, we'll give about a minute for that. I will thank everyone for joining us, our presenters, of course, and also you for attending this session this evening. When you close this window, you will get a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this is just one of many sessions being hosted. Be sure to sign up for additional sessions where you signed up for this one. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording, as well as all of the other session recordings. Again, the same place that you signed up for this session tonight. Again, I want to thank our presenters, and I will leave the window open for about another 30 to 45 seconds so that some of the questions here in the Q&A can get a quick answer, as we're a little bit over on time, but I think we can get that caught up. So again, thank you very much to everyone, and have a good rest of your evening.